Welcome back to my channel folks, Wildlife Ranger here on YouTube, where the British flora dances, pollinates and disperses before your eyes. I hope today you will join me on another trek in this hot May of 2025 to find another plant in the 50 Flowers in 50 Days series. The plant that we are looking for today is a plant in the family Geranium, or the Geraniaceae, and it is known as herb robert or Geranium robertianum. This starry flower has 5 pink-violet petals and deeply palmated 3 to 5 lobed leaves. The demeanour of this hairy plant is somewhat let down by its mousy, unfavourable odour. The plant is known by a number of common or vernacular names, none the least herb robert, and we take it upon ourselves to find out exactly who Robert was. The common vernacular names are fairly self-explanatory, with perhaps the term death comes quickly, where there is a link in the description should you wish to find out more. Given the beauty of the little flower, the plant also bears the unfortunate name of Stinky Bob due to its mousy odour. Turning our attention now to the Latin couplet and the prefix geranium, which is derived from the Greek word geranus, which means crane-like, due to the resemblance of the fruits, which resemble a crane's bill. If you don't believe me, see for yourself. Here in the inset photograph we see the fruits of the plant, which on a hot summer's day can explode, projecting the seeds up to 6 metres away from the plant on a thin thread. Now I hear you ask, who was Robert? And this question resolves as to whether you believe he was a saint or a sprite. Due to the common recurrence in medieval text, my money is on Rupert or Robert of Salzburg. We turn our attention now to that of hobgoblins and sprites. We turn our attention now to the hobgoblin in German folklore known as Nacht Ruprecht, or otherwise known as the Krampus or Bad Santa, who was St. Nicholas's friend on his Christmas journeys, where he exerted some degree of murder on children who did not behave. Please take note. Likewise in the Shakespearean tradition, Puck or Goodfellow, who was a red-haired malodorous sprite that walked houses carrying a candlestick. Let us look now at the habitat of herb robert, which is pretty much ubiquitous in the following settings: woods, hedge banks, gardens and waste ground, preferring damp, shady conditions. Welcome to my channel folks, Wildlife Ranger on YouTube for all things natural history. Today in the shaded wooded glade adjacent a wayside, we are going to look for a plant known as herb robert. And this is herb robert directly in front of me in this dappled wooded glade. Coincidentally, directly in front of this stand there are other stands of herb bennet or wood avens, known as Doom, which we also have imaged today, but our primary visit is to look at the habitat that this plant, herb robert, is located in, as indeed is wood avens. And we're looking at a birch canopy providing dappled shade and obviously protection from the direct sunlight. As you can see from the stand in front of me, the leaves are distinctive, and herb robert has a very distinctive 5-petaled purple flower, which we will look at in more detail when we run through the video. Hi folks, welcome to my channel. This is Wildlife Ranger here on YouTube. Today we're here to look at a little plant known as herb robert. And herb robert is known as Geranium robertianum, and it's in the family Geranium. What I want to show you today is the general habitat. We're on west side next to stone wall, running along snicket or ginnel as they say in Yorkshire, and as we move through the flowering season, as you can see, the plant and the leaves of the plant turn a bright red colour. So I don't know if the camera can pick that up or not. We can see here the bright red stems, almost blood red, and obviously the leaves turning red. And also a very distinctive geranium smell, and also it has little beaks where the flower has flowered and it is going to seed. As always, before we commence our trek into the field, we look at the features and characteristics of Herb Robert, which will enable us to identify and find it in the field, beginning with the flowers. As always, we include a detailed botanical slide which may be stopped at any point for those of you who may wish to study the plant in more detail. Herb Robert is a member of the Geranium family. It is variously hairy with a mixture of long, simple hairs and shorter gland-tipped ones. It is a biennial/annual, growing approximately 10 to 35 centimetres in height. In terms of its pollination, Herb Robert performs an intricate choreography over time around a small flower tube clinched in place by its sepals. The flower has 10 stamens in 2 rings of 5, the inner anthers opening first. It has 5 slender stigmas and 1 ovary, which is 3 to 5 celled. The flowers are approximately 16 to 20 millimeters in diameter and are pink or purple and occasionally white. There is no notch in the top of the petals, unlike some other geraniums. Herb Robert has a relatively long flowering period, flowering between May and September. They are some potential confusion species in the genus outside the scope of this beginner's video. However, some tips and pointers are given within this slide. Let us now allow Herb Robert to speak for itself. Turning our attention now to the leaves of the plant, it has 5 deeply lobed leaves, palmately divided, on a long hairy stem coming from the basal rosette, although the upper leaves may have just 3 lobes. The lobes are deeply divided and alternate upward on the stem, which becomes tinged with red as the plant ages. Well, folks, that brings today's episode on Herb Robert to an end. As always, thank you very much indeed for watching. If you have enjoyed this video or found it interesting or educational, please like, share and subscribe and help this channel become successful and bring other episodes in the series. So, folks, whatever the weather may be, get outdoors and enjoy it.